What is going on, world? What's up, YouTube? It's Zero here. Today I'm bringing you guys a brand new episode of The 8 Below Show. Welcome everyone to 8 Below. Thanks for being here, guys, to the best entertainment-related show here on YouTube. And I'm super excited about our episode here today. We have a lot of stuff to talk about, so let's get into it. Jeffree Star is back, guys, and he, of course, came back with technically an apology video, guys, that I thought, and I'll say this, and I've said it a number of times on the YouTube channel now, that Jeffree Star, to me, is a really genuine person, someone who kind of really just cuts to the chase, gets to pretty much everything that needs to be said, and he absolutely hit on pretty much everything, guys, that I was hoping to see in his video. And I love that from what it looks like, his apology was mainly to, of course, James Charles. And he just kind of brought out this video that to me felt really genuine, really that he's trying to change. He knows some of the things that he's done right, the things that he's done wrong, and the things he can do better moving forward. And I loved it. I absolutely loved the video that came out. And the like to dislike ratio was, you know, more positive than negative, but, you know, there's definitely a somewhat of a, you know, disconnect between whether it's the fan base or just people watching the video as a whole. I think it's just going to take time, though. What I love is that he took his time trying to figure out exactly what was going to be the best way to say, and just kind of wanted to think about things before just coming out with a statement and such shortly after all of this, all the drama and such in the beauty world really blew up. And with that, guys, now that Jeffree is officially back, probably going to be bringing out more and more videos and more content on his YouTube channel. But other than that, he's definitely says in his video that he has pretty big plans for August, which is exciting. And that it sounds like there's going to be a good amount of things to come in the rest of 2020 to look forward to. And look, guys, at the end of the day, I agree with a lot of the things that he was stating in his video. I thought it was really interesting when he brought up Shane Dawson, explaining how he doesn't know Shane from 10 years ago and Shane doesn't know him from 10 years ago, but they know each other as of right here, right now, and they're both, you know, he basically stated that Shane is a really good person as to what he knows of him as, you know, as right here, right now. And I thought that was a really interesting point that he put out in that video. Overall, though, guys, I'm glad to see that it seems like he is, you know, continuing to mature as time goes, like really realizing what he's done right, what he's done wrong, and like I said, what he can do better moving forward. And like all of us as people, you know, we're all doing that as time goes. There's things that we're doing right, there's things we're doing wrong, and there's things that we can do better moving forward. And we may hurt people along the way, others may hurt us. The idea, though, is forgiving others. The idea is, you know, accepting, you know, forgiveness, and all of that, guys, is all really important for us as human beings. And so I love seeing that, guys, from someone like Jeffree Star, who's one of the biggest personalities in the beauty world. And it'll be a new chapter, guys, it seems like, in the beauty world. Sure, there will be, it's not the last time that you're going to see drama in the beauty world. It's kind of like any other industry. There's going to be drama along the way. There's going to be bumps in the road. But at the end of the day, guys, I think when you realize the things that you're doing wrong and how you can kind of change and you know, get better over time, that's where the life lessons are something that we all are you know, need to take in, and it's how we react to those lessons as they come towards us, how we can better ourselves as a person and such. So really genuine guy, man. Jeffree Star is, in my personal opinion, guys. You may not agree with me, but I just think that he's seems like a really genuine person and somebody who does care about, you know, trying to, even though he's been, you know, portrayed as the villain in the beauty world, and I think he's accepted that as what he is in the world, in that space. However, he wants to get better, and I really respect him for doing that. And I thought that a lot of the things that he stated in his video were pretty, like I said, pretty genuine, to say the least. But he's back, guys. If you guys are big Jeffree Star fans, he's absolutely, you know, back at this point, and he's got, sounds like, some pretty big plans for the rest of 2020. And I love how he was stating that, you know, COVID and this pandemic going on really changed so much about how we, kind of interact with the world and the people around us and such. And so I just thought, guys, overall, I really appreciated where he was coming from. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. What do you guys think about Jeffree Star being back? Are you guys excited about it? What do you guys think? Let me know down there. Let's have a real conversation about it. Evil Geniuses, also known as EG, was one of my favorite esports teams from, way back, guys, when StarCraft 2 was really starting to kind of start the esports side of things and really became one of the founding fathers of esports. And I thought that EG from way back then was one of those teams that was almost like the founding fathers of esport teams as a whole, kind of with Team Liquid and teams of that nature. And with that, guys, Evil Geniuses, I've watched the journey, throughout the course of time now, and it's definitely, they've had bumps in the road, just like any esports team out there, but there's a real sense, in my opinion, that they are trying to really reclaim the throne of being one of the most prestigious esports teams in the world. In a post or a tweet, guys, by Rod Breslow, also known as Slasher, at one point, Evil Geniuses was the top org in all of esports. Now they're just one of many trying to reclaim old glory. He spoke to the Washington Post, guys, on Evil Geniuses reclaiming its legacy in an article that was written by Teddy Amenabar of the Washington Post. Nicole LaPointe Jameson, the 26-year-old chief executive of Evil Geniuses, doesn't come from esports. LaPointe Jameson cut her teeth in private equity, turning around distressed businesses. And she says that's exactly what Evil Geniuses was when she joined the company over a year ago. I don't run around talking about, hey, EG was on fire, LaPointe Jameson told the Post in June, abbreviating the company name, but I had to come in and help save this org. And I think it was really awesome, guys, that she came in to try to really start helping with the organization and try to kind of bring it back, reclaiming its legacy, so to speak. In the time since, LaPointe Jameson has led the company through a front office renaissance. She staffed up, creating marketing and sponsorship teams with offices in Seattle as well as Los Angeles. She's ushered in a new era for the 21-year-old esports brand with a redesigned logo and a new slogan, Live Evil. And a lot of people didn't like the new redesigned logo and the new slogan. I thought that the new slogan's awesome. The logo itself, I mean, it was, it's different. Let's put it that way. It is definitely different, but I like the slogan, Live Evil. And now as she starts to get her footing 14 months into the job, she's facing challenges of a different kind. Her organization is among those throughout the gaming and esports industry dealing with very significant claims, guys. And so that is, allegations and things of that nature that have been coming down on this esports organization is obviously a huge deal. In June, Evil Geniuses cut ties with 2 players accused of wrongdoing. And both instances fly in the face of the diversity and inclusion initiatives Evil Geniuses has touted over the past year as an esports organization. We can't have staff or players that contradict in their history those types of initiatives, LaPointe Jameson said in an interview before the accusations against both players surfaced online. Indeed, these past few weeks, Evil Geniuses has been forced to reckon with the past behavior amid its own ranks in order to move forward in a more desirable direction. So at the end of the day, guys, what happened here? What happened to EG? And this probably is something that stemmed from years ago. I've always stated that I thought that EG was a team that was at the top, but they failed to really evolve over time. And so what happened was other esports teams just kind of, gained on them and then ended up actually, basically going past everything that EG really was able to do. EG was on top for a period of time, but then they kind of failed to evolve in a way that kept them on top. It ended up, esports as a whole, just as it grew, more and more teams were coming into the fray, and many other, esports games were coming out. And I feel like EG was kind of slow to, initiating new ventures in the esports space and the landscape as a whole. And so that's why partially I think they kind of lost some of their glory. But then, of course, things like this that are stemming from, just the past definitely didn't help either. LaPointe Jameson's tenure atop Evil Geniuses started in May of 2019 when a Chicago-based investment firm called Peak Six acquired Evil Geniuses, one of the oldest names in North American esports, and tapped LaPointe Jameson to take the reins of the company, making her the first African-American woman to lead a major esports organization. The deal was billed as a fresh start for an esports brand on the verge of irrelevance. LaPointe Jameson said Evil Geniuses was barely keeping the lights on. Before the acquisition, Evil Geniuses was treading water in titles like Dota, while up-and-coming competitors sped by with new ventures. Peak Six provided the capital to expand into other leagues, and LaPointe Jameson provided the professional know-how to staff the organization around the competitive teams. And then, of course, she's amid a new direction and a changing guard. Evil Geniuses still carries the inertia that comes with a 21-year-old esports name. The rebranding in December sparked a backlash from longtime fans who felt the changes ignored the past. LaPointe Jameson's challenge is now to chart a course forward while giving a nod to a history for which most of the staff and players were never there. Now, I get the idea of longtime fans, kind of having that backlash, not really liking the new logo and things of that nature. I think it's fine. I like the new motto a lot and slogan a lot. But I understand why people, don't like this, the new direction that they're going. However, I just think that, look, with any past, history of a team, I think it's important if you're trying to have almost a fresh start, not necessarily a fresh start, but you're trying to kind of really reinvent yourself, so to speak. This is the way to do it, and the way that they are doing it. Giving a nod to the past is obviously very important, but also charting a course forward that you can become one of the biggest esports teams out there once again is it's a huge task, guys. When the deal between Peak Six and Evil Geniuses started to close in the spring of 2019, it was clear management at the investment firm wanted LaPointe Jameson to run the ship. There wasn't a formal meeting or an interview for the job. LaPointe Jameson wasn't worried about the workload, and she wasn't bothered by becoming a chief executive of a company just a few years out of college. She's been known by her colleagues at Peak Six to work around the clock. Early in her tenure, LaPointe Jameson cut short a dinner with May and ran with her through downtown Santa Monica to get the team's offices after getting a distressing work call. We probably ran for about a half mile, May said, adding they did eventually hail a rideshare. I was completely out of breath. She was still taking this phone call like a champ, not even breaking a sweat. I was heaving behind her. And so obviously, guys, they're basically stating that LaPointe is absolutely a workhorse, essentially, which is absolutely awesome. Evil Genius's chief gaming officer, Phil Aram, who led the company before the merger, likes to point out that in college, LaPointe Jameson used to play high-stakes Monopoly, which Aram explains as literally the most evil genius nerd thing you could do. And though in September, the organization acquired 2 multi-million-dollar franchise spots, returning to League of Legends with a $30 million plus bid, and Counter-Strike for another reported $3 million. They closed both deals on the same day, which is really big. Now, more recently, Evil Geniuses signed Sonic Fox, one of the top players in the fighting game community, and Huni, who before joining was the highest paid player in competitive League of Legends with a 2-year, $2.3 million deal. In regards to the recent player acquisitions, LaPointe Jameson said Evil Geniuses is not here to bottom feed from the talent pool. We're here to win. And I love the idea of this. I love this idea. If Evil Geniuses wants to truly return to its former glory, the organization has to win some championships, Rod Slasher Breslow, a longtime commentator on the esports industry, said. It can't just be that they gain followers on social media, but Breslow did add the recent roster changes have been impressive. EG now, to me, is just like every other organization, Breslow said. They're trying to regain some legacy, and I'm not totally convinced they've done that yet. Not all the changes in the past year have been met with applause. Evil Geniuses redesigned its logo not once but twice in the past 6 months because the first attempt led to a fervent backlash from longtime fans. Now look, The redesigned logo, guys, I thought it was better when they redesigned it the first time than the second time. I think it looks worse now than it did before that, but that's neither here nor there. Even Evil Genius's former chief executive, Alex Garfield, criticized the direction the company was taking with the few choice words. Garfield later went on to voice his support for LaPointe Jameson and the leadership currently at Evil Geniuses after the second iteration of the rebranding released in May. So why did Evil Geniuses update the logo or the original logo for the team? Marketing. The logo didn't work well for some sponsorships or broadcasts at tournament matches. The effort was a functional change for the good of the business, as LaPointe Jameson explains it. Which obviously, the logo I don't think worked really well at first. However, I personally liked it more than the one that they currently have at this point in time. Internet lore dates the name Evil Geniuses back to a Canadian gaming clan that formed around the new millennium. But this isn't the same team that played Quake in British Columbia, and it's not the dominant esports organization that courted sponsors while fielding top-tier teams in the early to mid-2010s. Nearly all the players and staff from those days are long gone, aside from Ricky Ortiz, a top-tier fighting games professional who's been with Evil Geniuses for nearly a decade. And I gotta say that EG, one of the reasons why I love this team so much, I loved, Jeff in control, and I thought that he was great. May his soul rest in peace. In control, EG, Idra. There were so many great StarCraft players that I really enjoyed watching with Evil Geniuses. But nonetheless, the organization used its success to then partner with brands interested in the industry. It got so good at signing these deals that Evil Geniuses created a second team in Europe, Alliance, so the organization could simultaneously field partnerships from two competitors, Monster Energy and Red Bull, according to Will Parton, a social media manager for Evil Geniuses and Alliance back then. So, Evil Geniuses effectively created the business model esports companies rely on today, Breslow said, but times have changed. There are dozens of esports organizations now that LaPointe Jameson admits Evil Geniuses has some catching up to do. The biggest names, that being like 100 Thieves, Cloud9, FaZe Clan, took the model from a decade ago and ran with it. These organizations are equal parts athletic, streaming, and lifestyle brands. And I agree 100% with that, and that's what Evil Geniuses has to become. So, now, in 2014, Twitch bought Evil Geniuses and Alliance and part of a larger deal to acquire their parent company, Good Game, an esports talent agency that emerged from the organization's success brokering deals with those corporate sponsors. And then in late 2016, Twitch gave control of Evil Geniuses back to the players with no clear funding or investor. The team was effectively a startup. Breslow said the organization was cratering into irrelevancy. We were essentially kind of hitting the reset switch, said Peter Dager, the former chief executive at Evil Geniuses, who helped broker the acquisition by the players. So, sitting on a throne, dressed in all black, LaPointe Jameson set a plan for world domination in North American League of Legends. Come live evil with us, LaPointe Jameson declared in a promotional video last November. Resist us and spend your remaining days as you did last fall. Sad, very, very sad. And I love that she's got this real, assassin type, mentality, like this will, like it kind of reminds me of like the Mamba mentality. I love it. She's very much so, involved in esports in a major way, but it's not just about getting a paycheck. It's about, wanting to win at the end of the day, bring championships to EG. It's a huge deal, guys. And if you're a fan of Evil Geniuses, which I certainly still am, this is something that's absolutely awesome to see. For many fans of the team and followers of League of Legends, these teasers were their introduction to the new Evil Geniuses, this comically evil cross between Despicable Me's Gru and Skeletor from He-Man. When the post asked Aram to describe LaPointe Jameson, the first thing he said is she's incredibly private. In interviews, LaPointe Jameson shied away from talking about herself. And so, with that, guys, all that I will say is, in a statement provided to the Post, LaPointe Jameson said the organization is in the process of reviewing every player and member of staff to ensure our actions live up to our words. The rebranding may be over, the logo is new, but there's still more work ahead. Recent events have saddened all of us, but our work here is never done, LaPointe Jameson wrote. It's an ongoing effort to learn and to challenge ourselves to be the best example for each other and to our fans. And I 100% agree. Look, guys, EG, what really happened here, in my opinion, was it was a team that got complacent in the esports realm. They were on top, and then other teams just surpassed them over time and did things better than what EG did. And it just they really were doing incredible things, like innovative things and such. And then, they just kind of stayed, complacent almost, for a number of years. And now it seems with Lapointe being here as, the head of EG, I think they're in great hands. And I think this is a team that's going to be on its way back at some point or another. It's going to take time, guys. And then, of course, with recent allegations and such, it's going to even take more time. But at the end of the day, guys, I truly believe that this is a team that is going to be on the rise once again, and I'm expecting more and more championships over the course of time with Evil Geniuses. But let me know, guys, overall, what do you think happened to EG as a team, guys? Do you think it was complacency? Do you think it was other things that came into the fray, other esports teams? Or what do you guys think it was that EG didn't do right and well enough? Another thing that you could point to would be personalities. And teams like 100 Thieves and FaZe and such are picking up personalities, big-time streamers and such that are going to really help represent the brand. That's a big deal at the end of the day, and EG did not do that for a period of time. And so other teams, like I said, surpassed them in ways like that. But with that, guys, like I said, let me know in the comment section down below. Let's have a real conversation about it. It's been well documented on my YouTube channel, guys, that I am a massive fan of the Call of Duty franchise. This is one of my favorite games ever, and each year is, we have certain times throughout the year that we get really excited about the upcoming Call of Duty, and we haven't heard much about Call of Duty 2020 other than the Red Door and having, minor leaks and minor, rumblings and talks of what the next title is all about, that being like the Cold War and it being a Black Ops title, but we don't even have any official confirmation as to what the game is called at this point in time. We know it's coming, that being Call of Duty 2020, but we don't know much about it. Well, in an article, guys, written by Keshav Bhatt of Charlie Intel, COD 2020 campaign missions and multiplayer maps names reportedly leaked. With the Red Door Call of Duty 2020 alpha appearing on Xbox One this past week, some users online have spent a lot of time attempting to dig into the actual game files to see what they can find. Now, it appears some users have started to actually access the files of the Red Door alpha on Xbox and started to share some of their learnings from the files. Now, really quick, guys, right off the bat, I think what's interesting about this is we're seeing it on Xbox. So I'm starting to wonder something, guys, and call me crazy here, but I'm wondering if Call of Duty is going to become an Xbox, like Xbox is going to be getting things early now, like how PlayStation the past number of years, they have, an exclusivity deal with Call of Duty, that being like the Call of Duty League at this point in time, as well as, like multiplayer maps and, DLC, things of that nature go on PlayStation first. But is that changing to Xbox? And that leads me to believe, guys, that the Xbox Showcase, which is coming out this week, is going to potentially showcase Call of Duty 2020. That's a question that we'll have here later, but remember that. One of the learnings they have found is a list of the potential campaign missions for Call of Duty 2020. Here's the list of campaign missions. KGB, which is in Russia, Siege in Russia, and some of these I don't exactly know, guys. But it's important to note that these are most likely internally code names for the campaign missions, or in development names for them as the game's development wraps up ahead of Q4 2020 launch of the game. There are currently 8 maps, multiplayer maps listed inside of the game files per the rumors. This list does match up with what was previously leaked from Exclusive Ace in his now deleted video. There could be more maps in the actual game when it launches, as this this is a still in-game development. Black Sea Cartel, KGB, Miami, Moscow, Satellite Tank, Tundra. Alongside multiplayer, there will be Zombies as the co-op mode. For Zombies, the internal code name of the map is Silver. Treyarch is known to use color code names for zombie maps in the past. In addition, there are references to different zones for a potential new map for Warzone, which is expected to carry over to the 2020 game, Dunga Forest, Russia, and ski slopes. Now, what I'm wondering in regard to Warzone, is it going to be called Warzone? Is it going to be a completely new map, kind of like Blackout? What's it going to be exactly? This is where there's so many question marks, guys, that we just don't know at this point in time. But so far, Activision has not announced any details still on the 2020 Call of Duty game. This has made many fans anxious to get news of the game, going as far as digging around in the game files itself now with internal alphas in order to actually get any information they can. Activision has not commented on the internal alpha on the Xbox, nor provided any details on these new leaks that are appearing. Now, like I said, guys, earlier in this video, I was talking about how Xbox, we're getting it on Xbox. A lot of times, correct me if I'm wrong, but it seemed like in the past when we would get, people would go through the internal files, it was a lot of times on PlayStation, not on Xbox. And so what I'm wondering is if there's a shift here back to Xbox instead of PlayStation. Like Call of Duty's been with PlayStation now for a long time. It used to be Xbox, now it's PlayStation. It's kind of gone back and forth. And so what I'm getting at here, guys, is the Xbox Games Showcase is going to be coming out later this week. And I wouldn't doubt Call of Duty, Black Ops, or Cold War, whatever it's called, is going to be revealed at the Xbox Games Showcase, which would be really awesome in my opinion. It just seems like, we're getting so far into the year already, and we haven't heard much at all about this game other than the Red Door, the possibility of what it might be called, that being like Black Ops CIA. It's hard to say, but the 2020 Call of Duty game is expected to be called Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War and set in the Cold War era. Now, the game is going to launch to be a launch title for the new generation consoles, alongside releasing on PS4, Xbox One, as well as PC. So, look, at the end of the day, guys, this is exciting that we're at least getting some of these leaks here. Like, if you're going into the game files, you look at the zombie map. You're seeing, of course, the multiplayer maps, at least some of them, and some of these code names, what it seems, code names for the campaign missions. And so what I'm most excited about with this game is it seems like we're going back to the roots of Black Ops, which I'm excited about. Even though I love the futuristic stuff with Black Ops, I think it's going to be good. A kind of fresh take going, back to the Cold War. I kind of like Black Ops 1 feel. I'm excited for that. The other thing is I'm really excited that there's a campaign. Black Ops 4 was one of my favorite Call of Duties actually made, guys. From a multiplayer perspective, I would have loved to play the campaign with Black Ops 4, but we never got that. And Black Ops always has done a really good job with their campaigns. Maybe not as good as Modern Warfare, like with Infinity Ward, which they kind of replaced that, obviously, with the multiplayer, like making the multiplayer absolutely incredible. But I'm excited overall for this game. Call of Duty 2020, guys, could be a really, another great title, another step in the right direction for Call of Duty as a whole. I think as long as we're not getting jetpacks or anything crazy like that, we're going back to the Cold War. I'm excited for that. I think that is something that could be really special. But let me know, guys. What do you guys think about all this? Do you guys think that these leaks are correct? Do you think it's incorrect? Do you guys think that Xbox Games Showcase is where we're going to get our first footage of the Call of Duty 2020? Let me know in the comment section down below. And for more Call of Duty content and videos, stay here with Zero TV. The speculation and the rumblings are really starting to amp up, guys, for Call of Duty 2020, which has had what we think are some code names, that being like the Red Door, and even more recently, guys, we've been getting reports that Call of Duty, the internal alpha, is codenamed Black Ops CIA on Xbox. And like I was stating, guys, and I've stated this earlier, that it's very interesting to me that everything that is being leaked, that being internal files and things of that nature, they're all showing up on Xbox. Is Call of Duty 2020 going to be going to be preferred to be played on Xbox like it has been preferred, at least as of late, on PlayStation? The Call of Duty League, of course, is played on PlayStation. Is there a shift that is coming to Call of Duty 2020? And I gotta say, I would be totally open for it to see what Xbox is, what Xbox does with this opportunity should they get it. But with that, guys, in an article written by Keshav Bhatt of Charlie Intel, according to users on Twitter, some users were able to actually add the Red Door alpha file onto their Xbox One consoles after it first appeared on the Xbox Store earlier this week. When adding the actual file to the Xbox One console, it appears to carry a code name of Call of Duty Black Ops CIA. And this is most likely just the code name for the 2020 title being used on the Xbox platform and not the final name. The final name is reportedly set to be Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. The user who was able to add the actual game to their console was able to just load it up until the Call of Duty Black Ops screen, which is the same screen that was leaked via the PlayStation Store's COD 2020 internal alpha build. And so users are not able to make it past this screen. They are able to hit with an error that says they need to continue. Activision has not revealed Call of Duty 2020 titles still, but rumor suggests it's called Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War and spans the entire Cold War era, which is interesting. I would be totally down for that. The CIA started around the time that the Cold War were starting up, guys, so I would be totally down with this. However, I would just like it to be called Call of Duty Black Ops and make it a soft reboot. I think that would be really cool. But even if they called it Call of Duty, Black Ops Cold War, I would certainly be open to that. I certainly wouldn't be against that. But what I'm getting at here, guys, the big thing here is that this is all being leaked on Xbox. And I'm not saying maybe it's just, a fluke with Xbox that that this was something that was revealed there. But part of it is I'm wondering that there, is going to be the Xbox Game Showcase coming up here is where we're going to get the reveal for the new Call of Duty Black Ops game, or Call of Duty 2020 as a whole. Xbox Game Showcase is probably preparing that for what is coming this upcoming week. It's all signs are pointing to Xbox Game Showcase. It's also pointing that maybe, just maybe, Call of Duty is going to now shift from PlayStation to having that exclusivity agreement with Xbox now. Now, when I say exclusivity, guys, I mean that being getting DLC first and things of that nature on Xbox, and maybe the Call of Duty League moving into Call of Duty 2020 will be, Xbox played, which would be really interesting as well. I think I would like that personally, just because it was it was nice to have it on PlayStation, but I think now it's time to have it back on Xbox. It's kind of gone back and forth over the years, and I think with the next next gen hardware coming out, I cannot say enough how excited I would be about that. But I would say, guys, stay tuned for Xbox Game Showcase, because that's where I think we might see our very first sneak peek at Call of Duty 2020. Let me know, though, in the comment section down below what you guys think about this. What do you guys think about the Red Door is now being open, and it looks like there's a possibility Black Ops CIA? Is it called just Black Ops? Is it called Black Ops Cold War? Is it called something completely different? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. And for more Call of Duty content and videos, stay here with Zero TV. And with that being said, everyone, I hope you guys did enjoy this episode of the 8 Below Show. And if you guys did, leave a thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, stay positive, and as always, I'll talk to you guys all in the next one. Peace.